Welcome to this episode of Access SCC, where we are celebrating SCC's 30th anniversary. In this special, we will be sitting down with three of the key leaders that run the Ramsey Washington Suburban Cable Commission. We will talk a little bit about the past, as well as what is in store for the future. Stay tuned, Access SCC starts right now.
We appreciate you coming on and allowing us to interview you for our 30th anniversary. So
My pleasure.
Can you introduce yourself a little bit to our viewers, as well as who you are, what you do here? And
Sure. Well, I serve as the Cable Commission's Executive Director, so I'm sort of like the Chief Executive Officer of the Commission, and I handle kind of the administrative and business affairs of the Commission. And work with a board of directors made up of representatives from the 12 municipalities that constitute our joint cable commission area. And so what I do, my role is I sort of do the overall management that includes the community television, of course, but my role is more so to focus on, as I said, the business side of it, finance side of it, and there's also then the regulatory side of it, which has to do with overseeing the cable franchise and sort of monitoring Comcast and making sure that they're complying with, the local laws, intervening in customer service matters where consumers have problems with their service or the billing or some conflict with Comcast. I am sort of become the consumer advocate and can intervene on their behalf and work with them to and Comcast to resolve those problems as things go.
Perfect. So you mentioned a little bit about the franchise agreement.
Mm-hmm.
So what is a franchise agreement?
Well, it's basically a contract between city governments and a cable television provider. And basically, it's a license to do business, to use the public right-of-way to construct and operate a cable television system. Cable TV companies need to use public property in order to build their infrastructure and to serve residents. And so the mechanism for allowing that is called a cable television franchise. It actually becomes an ordinance. It becomes a local ordinance as well. It's a contract and an ordinance as well. And so what the commission does is to do the contract administration, in essence, and make sure that Comcast is following all the rules and regulations that apply to doing business under a franchise.
Perfect. So I know that this is RWSCC or SCC's refranchising year. Is there anything specific that people should know about?
Well, it's a long process. It starts, 3 years prior to the expiration of the franchise agreement. The current franchise was put into place in 1998, and for a term of 15 years. Actually, 1999 for a term of 15 years. So it really expires at the end of 2014. And although we have an agreement with Comcast to extend that somewhat in order to get through our renegotiation process. So, it's essentially a contract that is going to be up, that terminates, and there's a process that we follow under federal law to renegotiate with the cable provider, with Comcast, and so that's underway, and hopefully we'll have some new arrangement with them, soon here.
Is there any details that people should know about at all, or?
Well, we've conducted an extensive what's called community needs assessment ascertainment. So we've surveyed subscribers. We have done a lot of due diligence in looking at the technical aspects of their system and sort of looking at how they operate their business and their practices and so forth. And we use all of that to go into negotiation with Comcast and come out with a new arrangement. The process is still underway, and citizens who have concerns about Comcast or have any thoughts about how Comcast might improve their business or their way they approach things, certainly can get in touch with us and make their comments known. It is a process that's intended to be open to the public, and there will be public hearings and so forth that are held to take into public comment along those lines as we move forward. But yes, it's definitely something that we want to have citizens participate in and provide their feedback.
Perfect. Great. Well, then, on a happier note, I guess this is 30 years that we've been celebrating in the operations of this organization. So I know you've been here for quite a while. So how has SCC or RWSCC changed over the years?
Well, community television part of it is changed a lot in the technology, of course. Everything's better, smaller, faster, and continues to evolve. We move into technologies like high definition and the digital capabilities that give us lots of flexibility and convenience, and so those kinds of technological changes have I think made improvements and made things easier in community television to make community television happen. But the basic premise is really unchanged in the sense that citizens are allowed to have access to the cable television system. The cable company is required to set aside channels for local communication, and those channels have been in place for since the mid '80s, and people have used these channels to have all kinds of community-related programming and communications. So that's sort of been the same for all along, and I suspect that will continue to be the case because that's really what the purpose of local programming is, local community cable television programming. It's to provide channel capacity for the local public. That's part of the obligation that is required under the cable franchise I talked about earlier, and something that the cable operator is obligated to provide.
Great. So is there anything else that you want to add or made any additional comments about what's happening here at RWSCC?
Well, I think that folks should definitely check out our programming, our channels. They should, if they haven't been to our facilities, should come over and check out our facilities. This is a terrific operation. It's award-winning operation. There's numerous awards that we've received for, that you all have received for, local programming, and so it's really something that the community should be proud of, because it really represents the community itself and the importance that's placed on it by citizens to have this sort of thing available. So to the extent folks haven't had the opportunity to stop by, I'd encourage them to do so and get involved and have fun with it.
Perfect. Well, thank you again, taking the time out of your day to, sit and chat with me about our 30th. So thanks.
My pleasure. Thank you.
almost done with your ILA project?
No, I still have mine to do. I'm almost done.
I'm not even close to being done.
Well, thank you, Judy, for joining us today. We really appreciate it. So can you tell us a little bit about who you are and your role within RWSCC?
Well, my name is Judy Skyvoss, and I am the Director of Production Services for both On Location TV, Channel 19, and Government Television Network, Channel 16. And really that just means I work as a team in producing various programs that go on those two channels. So it's really kind of staff-produced programming and also a lot of community-oriented programming through our production truck.
So how long have you been involved with RWSCC?
Actually, I've been here since 1999, and that's when we started the On Location TV production channel. And but my history in community television goes back a lot further. It's actually my first job in community television was right here at this facility, but was back when Group W Cable operated public access, and that was in 1986. So I've been around for quite a while. I left here, went and worked at Northern Dakota County Community Television doing government access there, and then came back here in 1999.
I know SCC is celebrating the 30th anniversary, but I know GTN and On Location also has some anniversaries.
Yes,
Can you talk a little bit about those?
Yeah, GTN, Government Television Network, is actually 20 years old this year, so that's a long time to be in the business. And we're the video production department for our member cities, which are 12 member municipalities in the area, and we assist cities in helping them to get cablecasters for their meetings. We help make sure their city meetings, get on the channel. And beyond that, it's a lot of staff-produced programs, shows like Northeast Journal, Lake Area Beat, Your Police Report, Oakdale Update. There's several monthly programs that staff produce, and it's just a way that we can help our cities get valuable information out to the public. So 20 years is a long time, and we're pretty happy to still be here doing that. And On Location, like I said, is 15 years this year, or is it 14? 14 or 15, I lose the count there. But so yeah, it's just, a long time to be doing this kind of work and keeping people informed in our communities.
So what are some projects that GTN and On Location are currently working on? What can we look forward to in the next years?
Well, because it is our big anniversary year all across the board, we're gearing up for our open house in September and our annual awards event that we've been doing for many years now, honoring our volunteers and our producers. And so we're working on things related to that, and then we'll be gearing up for our election coverage. We do a lot of candidate forums with the League of Women Voters in the area. We do live election night, coverage and results for folks. Beyond that, we're always working on programs. Me personally, I host and produce the Local Image Show. And so that's a monthly show, so we're always working on stories that will, be a part of that program, and that goes across the board with all of our monthly shows that the staff produce. So lots of things always happening, and we're always looking for story ideas too.
Leads me into, I know that Local Image has gotten some Emmy nominations. Is that correct? If you want to talk a little bit about that too.
We're really excited. Two of our programs, we only entered a couple, and both of them were Emmy nominated, so that was pretty exciting. One of them is a program segment we did last summer. It was a big deal here in White Lake when the world's largest ice cream sundae was created. And Scott Jensen, who's in our department, just an awesome producer, photographer, editor, put that segment together. It turned out great, and it's already won a Hometown Award this past August. And it's also up for an award with the NATOA, which is in St. Paul, awards coming up end of September. And it's also Emmy nominated, so it's a really good one. It's just captured the excitement of this community event that brought people from all over to downtown White Bear Lake. Another one that's nominated is one produced by Mary Klein and photographer Jeff Milcock and Jeffrey Wilson of Government Television Network. They do a lot of programs, again, related to our city operations and the police and fire department. And Mary produced a segment on the women of the White Bear Lake Police Department. And it was just a very unique and fun segment, and that's also Emmy nominated, so we're pretty excited about that.
Wow, well, congratulations.
Yes,
That's awesome.
yeah.
So, great. Well, is there anything else, any last words or things that
Oh
you
my
want
goodness.
to tell community members about, you know, community media,
Yeah.
SCC, GTN?
You know, I think really I want to give a shout out to our volunteers, especially with On Location TV 19, because without them we wouldn't be able to cover all of the many community events that we do. And we're also always looking for more volunteers. It's a lot of fun. It's a great way to network and get to know people and learn a new skill. So I want to make sure people are aware of that. And bottom line is, this is so much fun. You know, this whole thing that we do in community television, I'm very fortunate that I have a job that can be so much fun and rewarding, and anyone out there can, you know, become a part of that, and just in many forms and shapes they can get involved. And so all they have to do is get a hold of us and let us know they're interested, and we'll guide them through, including internships too. So
Great.
it's fun.
And will they contact you, or who will they contact?
Well, they can certainly contact me. All of our staff contacts and information are on our website, onlocationtv.org or gtn.org, but ultimately rwcable.org. But yeah, they can contact me or Arlen Becker for our mobile production, and works closely with our volunteers too. So
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
thank you. It's great to be able to share this information.
Of course.
And congrats on the 30th.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I forget that we are celebrating that too.
Yes.
Exploring interests me because I want to go into the film business, and it was just a really good opportunity for me to get experience with the cameras and sets and the editing software. It was really nice to use professional equipment compared to what I've been using. I own a Sony Handycam that's 15 years old, so coming onto these cameras, it was just a really nice change.
We've learned how to use the cameras, how to set up scenes like this. It's beautiful. And how to fix lighting.
We've learned how to do lighting to make sure things look right, white balancing. We played a lot with the shoulder cam this year, so this way we don't get that shaky walking cam thing. It's a lot smoother.
Yeah, I would definitely do Explorers again. I think it was a really, really great opportunity for me, and I had a blast doing it. I would recommend it to everyone that I know that's interested in any kind of media, whether it's radio, TV, movies, photography. You can learn all that stuff when it comes to videotaping.
thank you so much for joining us, and I appreciate you taking the time out to interview with us.
Yes.
So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what your role here at RWSCC is.
Ted Arbeiter, Director of Operations, Suburban Community Channels, done.
All right, sounds good. So how long have you been with the organization?
I've been here 15 years,
Okay.
believe it or not.
How has your roles varied being here and within this organization? Have you been in the same position the whole entire time?
Nope. When I was originally hired, it was community television supervisor.
Okay.
SCC supervisor, something like that. But basically, there was, at one point, there was just 4 supervisors that overseen the 4 different departments. And then sometime 2008, 2007, there's a reorganization. Everything fell into 2 divisions, and then was oversee the operations. There's actually a bigger title, but it's just operations. So
Perfect.
yeah,
Sounds
which
good.
SCC department tucks into.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what is SCC?
Suburban Community Channels. It's an acronym. It's an acronym, and basically it's public access,
Okay.
community television, community media. It's essentially, the community has the ability to access equipment and access the airwaves, the channels, to create content, to share unique community messages about themselves, the community, that really you can only find on community television, public access channels.
SCC is celebrating 30 years, is that correct? So
Yes.
how has it changed? How have you seen community media changed within the past 30 years, or within SCC, or how
Yeah.
has SCC changed?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, a lot's changed, but also a lot stayed the same. Really the biggest thing that's changed is, I think, the awareness of what community television, community media is. And probably the biggest thing is what the tools that are available to community members. We still distribute primarily through cable television, but also there's certainly other distribution avenues. That's been through the advent of the integration of computers in television, and also then the internet. But really it all gets back to people in the community who have important messages to the community about themselves, what's going on in the community, other issues that are important to the community that you really can't find on commercial television.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Well, yeah, no,
Do we
I
do
mean,
that? Yeah.
like I stated a little bit earlier, this is Suburban Community Channel's 30th anniversary.
Yeah.
Why is that such an important milestone to mark or to celebrate?
Well, anytime that you've been around for 30 years means that you're obviously doing something right. You're obviously something of value to the community, something of value to the people in the community. And I like to view us as, we like to be around as long as the libraries are around. Before there was libraries, the libraries were in rich people's homes, and people didn't have access to that. And in many respects, information is the currency of democracy. And one thing that people can get access to is information on our channel, and that really is what democracy is all about. And I think one of our biggest roles for 30 years is really to enable participatory democracy. And if we can do that, and I think we do that, we can always do better. And that's one of the things that, hopefully maybe when we're celebrating our 60th year, which I may not be around for, but I think that then hopefully we've had more involvement with getting people involved with their community, and that I really believe that information is the currency of democracy. And just like a library, we've been around, and I think that we will be around and to serve the community and provide that connectivity for the community, for each other, and for all the different sectors of our community.
Knowing that this is our refranchising year for Suburban Community Channels, what are some things that community members can do to show their support?
Well, what people can always do is just get involved in whatever way that you feel comfortable in getting involved. Some people, you can either write a letter, or the neat thing is that you can just send an email. Send an email to whoever your representative that you feel comfortable with communicating. It could either be at a local level, your neighborhood leader. Contact them and then say how important community media is to you, how important SCC is to you. Or if you feel more comfortable going up in the food chain, in the political food chain, then maybe your city council person or your mayor or your House of Representative from Minnesota, or your senator from Minnesota, or Al Franken, or Amy Klobuchar, or Barack Obama. Whoever you feel comfortable with communicating what's important to you in your life and your family, let them know how important community media is for you to either get your message out to your community, or it helps you stay connected with your community, learn about your community, build community, and that's our big role, empowering people with the tools, knowledge, and access to media.
What are some things or projects that SCC is currently working on, or what are some things producers or people involved can look forward to in the next year?
Well, we have a refranchising going on. That's the agreement between the cable company and the community. The cable company says, we want to be your cable provider. The community says, great, this is what's important to us and what you need to provide to the community in order to have this franchise. It doesn't exactly work out as simple as that, but that's probably the biggest thing that's going on. But ultimately, what's going on too on an ongoing basis is we're always trying to expand our services to the community and how people can get involved and use this great tool, this great thing called community media, to better your life. We teach a series of classes to learn how to use equipment, to learn how to use Macintosh computers, all the tools that may help you create content and message to share with the community on community television, on the cable system, but also then to take that message and go off into wherever else you want to distribute it. We're always trying to expand our footprint in the community. And one thing we've been doing, as you know, is trying to expand our offerings and our connections to the youth of our community. We've actually, we've actually created, youth media endeavors to make sure the youth feel important and not disenfranchised with what's going on. So they understand that media is something that's about them, that they could create and be a part of. It's not happening something else somewhere else and happening to them, which is very important too. People think that media is just happening to them. They could actually be a part of that media dynamic. And so that's something that we feel is very important, and we're really trying to put the resources towards that so youth feel involved and connected to what the community is about and how to use media to connect with themselves, with other youth, and also with the community at large.
Perfect. So you were talking a little bit about getting involved. So how do producers or community members get involved with SCC?
Well, there's many ways. I mean, some people, you can be a producer. People talk about, what is a producer? Well, it's really a volunteer. I think most people say, I know what a volunteer is. Volunteer is that I'm going to give my time, talents, and energy to something that I feel is important to me. Well, that's really what a producer is. You can actually get involved by taking classes. If you want to be a producer, obviously you need to learn how to do something. Well, we have classes that are only $10. They're very low cost because we don't want to have a financial barrier to involvement. People can get involved and produce programs. They take classes, be a producer, and that's really just volunteering, which they already know how to do.
Perfect. Is there any other last words, advice, suggestions to community members about SCC? Anything?
Yeah. Well, if your community is important to you and what you do in your life is important to you, you can celebrate that through community media. How? Well, there's many. Community media means different things to different people, and whatever you want to do, get involved and say. It's a great platform for whatever's on your mind, whatever's important to you. You can do it through television, which is the world's most powerful communication medium. And people think that people are watching less television. There's more television watching than ever. People are just watching it in different ways.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time out
thank
again,
you.
and I appreciate talking to you about SCC.
Not as much as I appreciate talking to you.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching this episode of Access SCC. You can learn more about all we have to offer by visiting our website. Stay up to date with news and events by following SCC on Facebook and Twitter. And sign up for classes and events by visiting the studio or giving us a call. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.